Hey guys, this is Scott Leroy Marketing, coming in for the weekly tip. And today's tip is on the preparation of the eEdge backend officially retiring or sunsetting at the end of December. All right, so come December 31st, the eEdge platform will officially sunset unless you are purchasing the Pro package. All right, so the free version will end. So the easiest way to figure out if you happen to have the free version, if you're inside my KW and you see the eEdge control panel, particularly these 4 items right here, I'm going to click on my contacts, for instance. All right, so the easiest way to see if we happen to have the free version is it'll say .kwrealty.com up here in the top. All right, so inside that address bar, it's going to say .kwrealty.com. Now, if you happen to have a custom domain on here, that means that you actually have the Pro package. All right, so with the Pro package, you'll be okay. That'll continue on, and that's something that you'll pay for monthly in order to utilize all the additional bells and whistles of the Pro version of eEdge. All right, but if you happen to have .kwrealty.com on here, there are a couple things you may want to take advantage of. The first thing that we're going to talk about in this tip is how to export your contacts. So in order to save all your contacts, what we'll want to do is click on that My Contacts button like we did previously. All right, and then we're going to click on Contacts up here in this kind of darker gray bar. And we're going to click on Export Contacts. All right, so from that drop down, we're going to click on the Export Contacts option. Now, a couple things to note about this. When we then export our contacts on here, all right, as you can see, we can then export our contacts to a CSV file, and we can actually export by contact groups. So if you happen to have certain groups you want to export only, you're definitely more than welcome to. And then we can also specify by contact status. Now, at the bare minimum, what I suggest just to have a backup is to leave the groups blank and to leave the contact statuses all. Because then once you click that export option, as you can see, it's exporting our contacts now. This will export every contact that you currently have inside eEdge just to have a backup of it. All right, so at the end of the day, that's going to help make your life a lot easier to ensure that you have a backup of all of your contacts. Now, one thing to note about the contacts, though, if you do export it this way, and even if you export it by the group, there's not going to be a column where it'll actually say the group name on it. All right, so that is one thing to note. It won't have a column that'll have the group name on it for you to then import into command as a tag. You will need to go through and add inside that group name manually. And another big item is, under your contacts, whenever you export them, it will not export the notes. So if you have any notes on the contacts, it will not export the notes. And then it also will not export any of your kind of details on here. So if you have them on any type of listing search, for instance, it will not export that either. So that would need to be manually updated too. All right, so depending on how, advanced your eEdge backend may be, all right, there may be a little bit of work you'll have to do in order to move it over to the command side. But I definitely want to give you as much time as possible since there's going to be about a month left in order to export everything. So at the bare minimum, though, make sure that you export all of your contacts so it'll at least get all of the data for you. All right, so then you'll at least have their names, their emails, their phone numbers, their property addresses, all the main items that you'll need to import that over to command immediately. All right, so there you go. So that's how simple it is to actually export those contacts. Now remember, if you happen to have a bunch of notes, or if you have them set up on a bunch of search options that you want to save as well too, just make sure you go through and manually add that out or export that out by copying and pasting it, so that way you can have access to everything immediately. All right, there you go. So that's how simple it is to export your contacts from eEdge. So there you go. So that is your MyKW tip for the day.